What's happening? Episode 195 of the Mr. Know-It-All podcast is a solo affair. I promise you I'm going to give you the energy that I best can under these circumstances or whatnot, but I did want to kind of recap the year a little bit, talk about what's coming up next in the Know-It-All Network's venture, get a few things off my chest, and I don't know, maybe dive down my own rabbit hole for a second. So, give it up. Show love. It's me all by myself. Mr. Know-It-All, episode 195 is coming at you right about
I said no
now.
more goody two shoes, no more Mr. Nice Guy. Fuck you too, it's likewise. This is what they left me in when they ain't choose the right side. Red inside my sight lines, feeling this in my mind. Venomous synonyms, nigga, I become a python. Cause y'all really push me to the edge. Ain't no more rebuilding once it's fire on the bridge. Keep an eye out when trying to feed a dog who ain't been fed. Cause after you feed them, they might use the strength to bite your hand. It's crazy, I know. Thinking how could they do it? Play with negatives, way too long, and they show improving that so. No more goody two shoes, no more Mr. Nice Guy.
Yizzo. Man, let me see if I can give myself a hand clap of praise or something like that, man. It is me, it is I. This is Mr. Know-It-All or whatnot. I think this entire episode is going to be about catching up and having an understanding about what I'm going to be doing moving forward and what I've done over the past few years. But let's just take it from the past year. I'm gonna give a little bit of my feelings on this thing too. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I'm not really I don't know. I don't know if I'm at the point into which that I can, tell you exactly how I feel about everything and not come off as egotistical or demonstrative in any way. But I don't know. It might be some shit in this. Or whatnot, like for real. So I don't know. You know what I mean? I can't take away from the shit that I normally do. I'm definitely going to play a song here. Definitely gonna play a song here. Let me see here. I should have had it queued up. I should have had it ready, but it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? This is my thing. I can absolutely edit it. So without further ado, for all of the audio listeners, check this out.
They say they never really miss you till you dead or you gone.
That wasn't the one. I don't even know how. Oh, this is a whole acapella. That's not even what I'm doing. But we doing this. Oh man. Let's do it. Mike. Microphone check. Welcome back. Episode 195 of the Mr. Know-It-All podcast. As always, as long as this damn thing's going to exist, it'll be me, Mr. Know-It-All, your favorite podcaster's favorite podcaster, even if you didn't know that he podcasted, as well as podcasted and multimedia's lovable, smart ass. Give it up for me one more time. Yeah, man. There's nobody to my left. There is nobody to my right. Everybody got a day off today or whatnot, but I figured that this needed to be done. We're rapidly approaching the 200th episode. I've been through ups and downs. Hell, I told myself at one point I wasn't even going to make it to 150, or if I did make it to 150 and things weren't going the way that I wanted them to go, that I was going to gracefully bow out. Look at me, 50 episodes later, almost, a year and a half more in time. Hell, man, man, a year and a half more, and I'm still here. I'm still doing it. To be perfectly honest with you, the thing that drives me the most is loving the craft. Loving the craft of actually podcasting it. Because to be perfectly honest with you, dog, most of the time it's not worth the price of admission. Um, because I guess this is where I get into my bag before my bag is even purchased. Um, yeah, most of you don't appreciate shit. You know what I'm saying? Most people don't appreciate good shit when it comes out. Or maybe it's my train of thought. Maybe my train of thought is a little bit different than everybody else's. I look at it and say, this is thorough, you're getting quality entertainment. So other people are like, I ain't got time to watch that shit. Because it's not such and such shit. Why, you know what I mean? You're not them, so you know what I mean, I don't have time for that. Or you're on a lower level, so I don't have time for that. So I tell myself, like, you know what? You're right. I agree. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to watch me. You don't have to listen to it. You don't have to, kill time during your day. I mean, it is what it is. I understand it and I respect it. Yeah. So I guess what should I do first? So the first thing that I was going to do was I was going to talk about some things that I got up and coming, things that I'm working on, some plans for the future. But I think I'm tired of telling y'all plans for the future and then the changes don't happen. Let me tell you about the things that have happened and that have changed and whatnot. Um, so I started off this thing back in 2019, October of 2019. Um, and I'm gonna skip past some things real fast and whatnot. Originally, it was with my man Ruff and with my man Reg. My man Reg kind of decided it really wasn't for him. He wanted to kind of be a behind the scenes guy, but I kind of needed, we kind of needed some more things, to happen. But I wasn't. I was going to see it through regardless. So me and Ruff did it. Me and Ruff did it for the first 20 episodes or so. Then Kelly Q came aboard. Kelly Q and Ruff were here. We did the podcast together for about 3 years straight. Um, you know, we had some tardiness issues, some, what I mean, life kind of got in the way. It was a thing. So at the end of that, you know, um, everything was kind of amicable. You know what I'm saying? I guess Ruff kind of was understanding that, he was moving on. So he moved on. Um, so then it became just me and Kelly. It was me and Kelly for what? Damn, probably a good 6 7 months or whatnot until we met Taya. Taya came aboard as the manager. Taya, kind of jots down, some ideas for the show. Playing, behind the scenes. Very, very much of like uh um I guess you would consider it a producer. Most of the time, producers are a little bit more hands-on with certain things, but Ty is more of a, she's an idea person. So, it's always a good look and whatnot. She kind of arranges things for me, sends it over to me, lets me know, just kind of keep me on my toes. Because for the first, 3.5 years of this damn thing, I was, jotting everything down myself or whatnot, just to keep reminders of exactly what was going on. Then she also controls the social media pages. I do the clips and stuff like that. But what we do is we collaboratively work on it or whatnot. I do like, a lot of the editing with the clips. Da da da. I take the clips that I want, send it over to her. She puts the finishing touches on it. Da 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 da. Blah blah blah. It goes up there. Um, we had an opportunity to do something different. If you're a regular follower, if you're a regular watcher or listener of the pod, you saw that there were a few changes that were made. There was a situation called the Hive for a while. Um, I had collaborated with a homie of mine and whatnot. We had got some things together. We had I don't know if you want to call it creative differences. Maybe let's call them business differences. No love lost. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is or whatnot. But because at the top of last year, we were knee deep in doing stuff at the Hive. And I think we did stuff at the Hive for maybe 4 months or so. And then before you know it, we were back here. Scott Vibe. I'm lunching. Scott Vibe, my man. Scott had appeared on a couple of episodes with Teddy B. Um so you know what I mean, they came through and did some things and yeah, it was cool at first, and you know what I mean, then after that I see, had opportunity, what was going on with, everything with the Hive over there, cuz he He's a rapper. He does his music. He's the one that does the intro track and whatnot. And he's actually done the last couple intro tracks or whatnot for me. So, I mean, much love, Scott Vibe. He was on a pod for a minute. I thought he was perfect. I thought he was perfect. He was a good yin and yang. I mean, with us three, I felt like it was magic. We had the young boy on there. It was a good look. You know what I'm saying? And then you know, he had his own things going on, so he really didn't kind of, really, I guess his heart really wasn't in it. He didn't want to be a part of the pod itself anymore, which I understand. Listen, I mean, I can't make nobody's, dream my dream or whatnot, or make nobody look at podcasting the way that I look at podcasting. Um, Strolling down the yellow brick road, I guess we're, and that was around, the time when, the creative and business differences between me and my partner kind of changed things up. And before you know it, I'm back here. You know what I'm saying? Which is, all love to me because you listen, the majority, I mean, I got equipment to do it. So I'm never putting myself in a position where I'm asked out and I can't do the Mr. Know It All podcast. So shout out to everybody that supported from where we were over there to where we are here to where we're going next. So that's a good look. Yeah, so throughout this whole situation and whatnot, this year has been trying, trying. Early in the year, I guess to lend back to January back then, we met some people at PodCon, linked up with them. Shout out to Hype, shout out to Nah, linked up Tone the Promoter, Sonny, Dana. I knew Dana beforehand, knew Star beforehand. We did Barcast together. Us and Taya, we all linked up and we decided to do the podcast link live show. Got that together. That actually went off without a hitch back in August. So shout out to that. That's a real love shot right there. Pause. But that's a good look. I'm so glad that we were able to do that. Yeah, so those things are, have come together pretty well or whatnot. And, based upon everything that's going on, it'll be a good look for the future. We did that. We did a hip hop show. We recently, a couple weeks ago, we hosted a karaoke, a crush. So to me, I feel like its trajectory is actually on an upward tier. And I love, the idea of what we do with that. I'm a little bit more, I like, to kind of get things a little bit more hands on, but I feel like, yeah, putting everybody in a position to succeed, what I mean, with that, especially as a group. I want everybody's podcast to succeed, podcasting and live streams, whatever they do on a regular basis. I just know that I want this situation to operate at an upper tier, and I don't want to feel as if that, no, what's the best way to say it? I want everybody to kind of, to have the same access to the same type of, situation. So that's going to be a focal point on something that I got coming up, next year. I want to kind of, help the group, help all of us steamroll our way on to upper tierism. How about it? I say that? Yeah, shout out to that. Yeah, but throughout this entire time, man, I ain't gonna lie to you, and I won't even get into my business, but my personal life has spiraled out of control, and this is not a situation into which that it's a woe is me, cause that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to entertain. I'm here to put forth good product. Um, 2000. Let me just take something back, and then I'm jumping around, but let's do it like a Quentin Tarantino flick. All right, 2022. Might have been the most stagnant year of my life. Even though felt like I was making strides in order to make things happen, there was a physical freeze in my life. Nothing was budging. Even though I told myself that, I was doing some different things and trying to pivot, move from side to side, trying to make things happen laterally. It just felt stagnant. I felt like I came out of 2022 the same way I went into it. 2023, that's kind of when I felt myself making some different types of moves, but it also reverberated into, some things kicking my ass on the back end. So by the time 2024 hit, it was already, it's kind of like, damn, it's kind of like puberty or menopause or midlife crisis shit or whatever it is that you want to call it. Whatever you're dealing with a lot of times or whatnot now, like us that are in our 40s, the way your knees feel now and whatnot is not the way your knees felt in your 20s. So you got to get used to these new knees. You got to, because that shit ain't going nowhere. Um, so this is what we're doing. And as that happened, I have been stuck between a rock and a hard place on the way that I want to, operate. I know that there are things in my life that need to change, and I'm well aware of that. So therefore, that's the thing that's on my plate first and foremost, is to make those changes. Um, I, mm, what's the best way to describe going into 2025 and looking forward to the 200th episode? Now I'm at the point into which that I can move in the upward trajectory, but this is this is decision time. Decision time, and this is that everybody can't go moment. Um because my thought process now is everything that I've done for this podcast and everything that I've done, in order to try to make things happen, have been under the pretense of that I can move in a particular way and move things over here and make things happen over here, make things happen over here. I'm an extremely impatient person, but I've told myself to be patient, that I can rock a specific type of way. And can't steal second base to keep your foot on first. Shout out to Joe Budden. That's something that I always take heed to when he talks about it. And what that means for those that don't understand is that you got to let go of whatever is keeping you there in order to get to the next level. And the funny thing about it is that it's nothing as tangible as saying that people or places or it's mindset. It's a mindset. The mindset of what's happening with Mr. Know It All right now is the biggest thing. Um, the difference between me and a lot of other people that are still doing things in this media space is that this may be the one thing in my life that I don't look at as a form of content. I can't. So there is not a day that goes in and out where I'm not looking for improvement. It's almost a reflection of me, self improvement thing and whatnot. Like I struggle a lot with my appearance and with my weight, but I've always throughout my life. You know what I mean? And even when I was as small as I ever was, my eyes still wouldn't tell me that. So, you know what I mean? It was a constant grind. And then, you know, when I always thought that I looked the same, then when I gained weight back, I said, damn, okay, this was a totally different look and a totally different person. I look at everything in my life the same way. I look at a lot of personal things in my life. I look at this podcast. I look at the people that I hang around. Um, because at the end of the day, I'm just not I'm just not built just to lay down and let certain things be what they are. There's a lot of things that I want to say, but it's always about being extremely, extremely particular. And maybe one of these days I will be able to say them. You know what I mean? Maybe one of these things, you know what I mean? One of these days there will be a lot of shit that I'm able to say. You know what I mean? And not feel as if that, that I'm doing or I'm saying something wrong that's going to offend people. Um yeah. So what I'm going to do is I went down a rabbit hole of a lot of things last night. Um and I'm going to let certain things, play for themselves.
Biggest lie that you ever told. I'm fine. Ah, man, come on, tell me, what's the biggest lie you ever told? I'm fine. That's the biggest lie I ever told. What's the biggest lie that you ever?
Hmm. That one kind of hit hard because I say that a lot to myself that I'm fine. That I'm fine because these are the things that are supposed to happen, and then a lot of times you put, I've done a lot of things in order to try to forgive myself from feeling as if that I haven't done the right things or haven't put myself in the right position. Um, that it took me a long time to just start enjoying the process, enjoying the ride. Um, but it's a facade. Like I enjoy the ride and whatnot because the ride is the ride. But I'm never one to ever be confused that it should not reap some rewards or benefits enjoying the ride. Like honestly, maybe it's the arrogance, maybe it's the self-centeredism in me, maybe it's a narcissistic nature that I have in me. Um, if I give more, I should get more, and it sucks because you know you shouldn't feel that way or whatnot. But to me, it lends itself to every cliche thing that anybody's ever said to you. Heavy as the head weighs the crown. To much is given as much as expected. With great power comes great responsibility. Is a thing. It's always a saying that puts you in those type of positions, and then all of a sudden you look up and you don't feel like that you've made enough stride. You just don't. So if you haven't noticed, this is kind of my therapy because I'm starting off like this or whatnot because I want some people to understand where I lie and what motivates me and the way that I'm going to move in the future. Some people might not like it, and that's fine. But if I can't cleanse myself of all the fuckery that I keep dragging into everything, I feel like at the end of the day that this is going to follow me for the rest of my life. And notice that, like I said, I don't have to be particular about anything. I just have to tell you exactly how I feel and where I am right now. Listen to this.
Happens after your funeral. In a few short hours, the crying will die down and your family will be busy making arrangements for food or drink. Some of your friends and relatives will start discussing current affairs over coffee. Others will call your family saying that they couldn't make it in person due to an emergency. Your employer will begin to search for your replacement, and in a few days, your kids will go back to school or work because their bereavement leave has ended. In a month, your spouse will be watching a comedy or TV show, laughing as if you were never there. You'll be forgotten at such an astonishing pace. And if people will forget you so easily, then who are you living your life for? You spent your whole life concerned about what other people will think about you, when in reality, nobody even cares. So live your life to please your Creator, because He's the one you're going back to.
So that one kind of hit hard too. I started to realize that there was a point into which that I was literally doing this podcast to please other people. And then I turned it inward. I was doing this podcast to please myself. And then I stopped looking at it as something to please myself or to please other people. I said, this is going to be something that is entertaining. That's why I played public service announcement in the beginning, is because this is a recollection, a recording that I ever existed. See, the whole thing is that I can't steer y'all thought process about how you feel about me. And I'm understanding that now. I'm not here to create some sort of cool that maybe I wouldn't have if I didn't have a podcast. I want you to laugh because it's funny. I want you to get choked up and be angry because it's worthy of being so. Because at the end of the day, Beethoven symphony had nothing to do with what you thought about Beethoven. The work spoke for itself. Even back when I was an artist, when I was rapping, to even further back when I was singing, it was for everybody else. It's to sing for girls at lunchtime because I wanted them to like me. When I was rapping, I wanted to be the best rapper to ever live until I realized that it was subjective. Ain't that a bitch? The thing in your life that you feel as if that you can conquer is up to other motherfuckers who don't have a clue what you're trying to conquer. They're just listening. People have their own antennas about what they think about what you bring to the table. It's not that cut and dry. I guess that's why people that maybe don't do so many things in a creative space or lean more into sports or things like that. Because it's kind of an easier concept. You win and you lose, and nobody could ever take the win or the loss from you. Like, you can never say that the secondary team was better. I mean, you can say it, but that's just you kind of hating. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could say that Steph Curry 73-9 team was better than the Cleveland Cavaliers that beat them after they were up 3-1. You can say that was a better team. Unfortunately, the proof isn't in the pudding. Everything leading up to the culmination led to that until LeBron runs up on Iguodala and blocks the shit out that shot. You know, until Kyrie crosses Steph over the three-point line, swish, in his fucking face. Until he brings Cleveland their first championship in years. The chosen one. That's tangible. That's solidified. That's something that people see and say, damn, that's what it is. So there's nothing to please about that. Either you like it or you don't. You have to deal with shit like that. This situation here, I'm realizing and understanding that I really don't have, I ain't got a heaven or a hell to send you to when it comes to you listening or being entertained by what I'm doing. Just maybe, like Pac said, maybe can spark the brain that changes the world. Maybe. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe you listen to this shit, somebody stumbles across it, and, 40 years from now, and I'm like, yo, you got to listen to this shit. This is entertaining. Just the same way as when you watch Perfect Strangers or Full House or Family Matters or whatnot, TGIF Friday shit and whatnot. It might not change your life. It just might be something that you enjoy, which is cool by me. But at least you knew that those people existed. But if the last portion of what the guy said on that thing was living and moving for your creator, and I'm one that believes that God doesn't give you anything and just let it fade away. There's something knocking, something inside of you or whatnot that pulls you to your feet every day and gives you purpose. And I don't think purpose is as simple as procreating and taking care of anything and everybody. I think that's bullshit. I think that's a cop out. I think a lot of times people give it that because they haven't found a deeper purpose, something to hold on to, something to look at and say, you know what, this is bigger than just me. So I don't believe that at all. Honestly, I just don't know what it is if it's not this. Maybe this is leading into something different. Or maybe it's just going to take more time. Like I told you, I'm impatient, but maybe this is the one thing that I can stick with. Let me give you an example, right? I stopped rapping, making songs, doing shows, videos, all that. Even as things were advancing, I stopped doing it because I started to realize that I didn't love it anymore because y'all, not even y'all, let me say this, the consumer did not love it the way that I did. And the overwhelming majority came into play. It's almost like if you're throwing something that's niche out there, you have to hear the response and whatnot because there's a lot of niggas that are just trash and put together a song in 5 minutes and they got the rapper starter kit, the blonde locks with the chain and the grills and all that other shit, and all of a sudden that's them. That wasn't me even a little bit. Or anybody that I did the shit with. We put time in, effort in, hours. You know what I mean? Painstakingly, tens and hundreds of hours or whatnot, sitting down and writing and trying to make something that made sense and was tangible, and I mean not tangible, but palatable and actually good. Here's the funny thing about it. It's subjective. It's subjective. Back to that word. It's subjective. Podcasting is subjective. So, why am I making this shit to try to please y'all? Why am I trying to please anybody out here that's sitting, watching, thinking about this? I think that the people that it affects the most are the people that I want to gravitate towards. Here's the issue, though. I'm a creator. And you can change one, but you could also affect a million. And I think the thing is, what drives creators the most is that maybe, just maybe, it'll be something that affects the masses. Because we don't know anybody's true intention. Like, I don't know if you like this shit or not. The craziest thing about it is that if I don't know, then how can I care? But I care if you tune in because that shows me that it's worth doing again and again and again. So now that I'm off that portion of a rant, let's talk about the way that I want things to change. I want to bring you more quality entertainment. Let me give you some tangible things that I want to do in order to move forward in that. First things that needs to happen is that you need to get 2 episodes a week out of the Mr. KnowItAll podcast. That's a given. So therefore, I'm probably going to do mass recording and whatnot and split them up. That's kind of the thing that's going to happen. Also, Patreon. I think it's some behind the scenes things that need to happen and things that are behind a paywall. And before I wasn't afforded the ability in order to do that, but the first quarter, that's what I'm going to make happen. That's my promise to you. That's my promise to myself. That's my promise to the masses and the people that are actually listening. That's going to be the first thing, is a Patreon. The second thing is going to be a more elaborate marketing program, something that actually gets this network and podcast out there. I mean, years ago, I bought a billboard. I used to pay for even if it's taking small marketing dollars or whatnot, we want these numbers to grow. We want them to tick, tick, tick up and grow rather than just looking at them and saying, okay, this is good for right now. Because to be perfectly honest or whatnot, the growth is pause. It's just not enough for me right now. It's not. I'm at the point now in my life where this is the selfish portion of me or whatnot. I need to see the change. I need to see the change. Um, I've been real kind and real understanding about where everything that I do lands. But it's been 5 years now, man. And it's not, the moon. If I'm shooting for the moon and landing amongst the stars, I ain't even at leveling off altitude where I could take my fucking seatbelt off at yet. You know what I mean? I don't want to climb for 25 fucking years. I want to get up. We got to get up. And it's nobody's fault. No. Here's you go. It's my fault that I've been accepting of, once again, that painstaking situation of mediocrity. Because it's not okay. It's not okay to be this good and nobody know about it. It's not. It never was. And it never will be. And I mean that sounded so selfish and self-centered, but fuck y'all. What are we talking about, yo? What are we talking about? Not y'all, but I'm just saying, like anybody that feels as if that's what it is. How dare anybody feel as if that somebody that's needs to be on the next level or whatnot can't reach it because of happenstance? Come on, man, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's bullshit, and we know it. So the first quarter, that's a part of my objective, is to get motherfuckers tired of hearing and seeing my face. Tired of hearing and seeing about this. I need viral videos and start working more on that. Start pushing the envelope. Live TikToks, live YouTube streaming. Anything I need to do in order to get the brand out there. Because this is the opportunity and this is the time in which that I need to let go of the things that are holding me back. So it's easy for me to say these things or whatnot and kind of to reiterate what it is, but man, let me play another one. Like I said, I was down a rabbit hole last night.
Fucked up thing about life. Sometimes you meet people just to show them what true unconditional love is. And sometimes those people met you to show you not to be so naive with that true unconditional love. And regardless of how you look at it, it's a win-win situation for both parties. One person was shown what true love was, and, well, the other one was shown that everybody doesn't deserve that love. That's a hard pill to swallow, man. For real. I want to hear.
So I want y'all to understand that everything is not always at a plane in which that it's literal. He talked about things like unconditional love and true love and oh man, maybe it's because I suffer from main character syndrome that I always feel like I'm the hero of my story or the villain. Either way, antagonist, protagonist, whatever, because you're the villain in somebody's story. I don't want to be the mark that's left for something else greater. I do want to be the no, let me say that again. I do want to be the mark left for something else greater, but I don't want to be the reason why you learn to love this. I want you to love this along with me knowing that you love this. They don't miss you until you're gone. You know the reason why they don't miss you until you're gone? Because they didn't appreciate you when you were here. But those that are appreciated when they're here, they give it back. Or they turn into monsters. Whatever way you look at it. It is what it is. But it's just that you don't the tough I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this or whatnot without just sounding completely and utterly self-centered and egotistical. Sometimes you don't always want to be spoken. And it's not me caring about what people think. It's about you don't want to be spoken third in a situation that led to something extravagant. Sometimes you want to be the extravagant. It ain't about money. It ain't about none of that. Sometimes you just, why fit in when you a standout? And then I think, then it scares me sometimes and whatnot because maybe some people that are standouts shouldn't stand out because it's dangerous for them to be that much of a standout. Not many people do this shit like I do it. I'm just keep it a being with you. And I say this a lot. It's extremely, completely arrogant, completely self-centered. I am a little bit self-centered. I grew up in a situation in which that I lacked confidence about who I was. So therefore, it took time for me to develop being thorough enough to say, yo, you that nigga. So when I became that nigga, it may have been a little bit too much. But then when I got older and I matured, I learned how to reel it back. And one of the things that helped me reel it back is that everything that you want don't come to you. Life is not fair. You don't get everything that you want. Yeah, you trying. Yeah, you should. Yeah, you're talented. Yeah, you might do enough in this instance, but it ain't for you. Yeah, I can't accept that. I can't accept that and I won't accept it. And to be perfectly honest with you, I'm sending a message out to anybody. I don't think anybody should accept it. But acceptance also comes with every portion of it. If you decide that you want to move forward in anything, you have to give it some sort of push. You can't just not accept it in your mind, but have faith that it's going to work out. Faith without works is dead. Dead. But you got to get that bullshit out your way. It's like I've had to get bullshit out my way. It's tough, man. It's not easy to know what you need to do. And then be in the process of doing what you need to do. Because you have no idea what's on the other side of that. You can jump and you can fall. You can jump by yourself. Or you can jump because somebody else is helping you jump or guiding you that way. But you have to be smart enough to know, hey, maybe I got to pull my parachute. This ain't for me like it was. I've been in that situation. But you can't be afraid to fail. You can't be afraid to start over. I think that's where I'm at now. It's not that I'm not scared. I'm just not afraid to fail. Just not. And I just don't accept anything. I can't accept just anything. So, let's recap for a second. First quarter. First quarter is a big deal because that's really, really what it's going to lead into. So the first show of 2025 is going to be episode 200. I mean, regardless if I put a party or something together, or not, that's irregardless. I don't give a shit about that or a fucking celebration or whatnot. What I want to celebrate is the success of it and not just reaching a milestone. Anybody could turn a mic on or these fucking cameras on and give you 200 or whatever. There won't be this quality, but I'm saying is that they can give, people can do it. I've seen people do it. I'm not worried about all that. What I'm worried about is moving the needle forward. What we get? Fucking 80 years on here, tops. Maybe this is my midlife crisis. I don't know. I have no clue. But as long as I'm sharp enough to still do this at a high level or whatnot, it's got to be a purpose for me to be doing it. And so I'm saying I just keep interrupting with that. But that's what it is or whatnot. Things need to be taken more seriously. And I'm going to convey that to the team of people that I work with, to, you know what I mean, to everybody that's involved, and also to myself. And because I found myself, working a lot harder, to make bread because, it's something that I have to do, personally right now. So that's cool. Once I get everything right in the way that I need it to be and the levels off and I'm able to, then I'm going to start putting myself in the correct positions in order to be able to do the things that I want to do. And it's so easy. If the shit fails, I could live with that. But I can't live with never giving it the shot that I needed to give. So first quarter is promotional shit. First quarter is promotional, marketing it out there, getting correct, getting good quality shit out there, upgrading some of this equipment and whatnot. But I'm not even going to put that too heavy on myself or whatnot. I'm going to take it one step at a time into what I can do. But my objective by the end of the first quarter is going to be to make sure that I constantly got a steady flow of material and content out on the internet for every site that is possible, whether it's live streams, whether it's full-fledged podcasts, whether it's clips, whether it's all of that. You know what I mean? It should not be a day that goes by where that you don't see this face or you hear something that's trying to make some noise. So that's the first thing foremost, is consistency. The second thing is the consistency can't be for naught, though. The consistency is going to have to come with a proof of growth. And to be perfectly honest with you or whatnot, that is something that has not been, I've not felt that, you know what I mean, in a while. And like I said, it doesn't have anything to do with anybody else but me. Because I think when you concentrate on particular things, those things manifest themselves. So you have to be completely and utterly intentional about what you want to do. You just have to. It's not like it doesn't. Most of the time, shit don't happen in happenstance. Like, it sounds cool on paper. It just don't, yo. It don't. I wish it did, but it don't. So talking about everything that I've done before as opposed to what's going on now, it has to be streamlined efficiency on my part. Like, I alienate myself a lot. That's because I'm keeping honest with you or whatnot. I love my friends. I love my family. But here's the thing. I'm at a point now where if there's something that I need to do, I'm not tapping all the way into that feeling. I haven't been out in months. You know what I mean? Like I took on no November, you know what I mean, no drinking and whatnot, and no extracurricular. I took that shit on like it was a soldier. I like really, to be perfectly honest with you, I'm at the point now where I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's not really that big deal for me to have a drink and whatnot. I don't really, dog, I'm just not in the mix with everything. This is what I want, so I need to be encapsulated in this. Um, yeah, I just like I said before, like it's all well and dandy and whatnot to enjoy, but here's the problem and whatnot. People don't have different the aspirations that I have. So therefore they just people who are kind of fly by night. They do exactly what it is they want to do. They go to work every day, they do what it every day you gotta do. They get vacation time, they do this or whatnot. They live their life the way they want to live it. I don't need none of this extracurricular shit. I really don't. I've done it. I've done it before. I've taken enough shots. I've had enough drunk nights or whatnot for 15 niggas. I don't need it. Um, I mean, you know what I mean? Hey, vacation, whatever. It's just, oh, I don't mean to sound like a curmudgeon, man. It's just that, like honestly, like what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing in this life? You know what I'm saying? You know, dealing with the whole concept of mental health or whatnot, I think it's more important for people to put themselves in a position in which they're happy into what they're doing when they wake up in the fucking morning. That it means something. That it means something rather than just being in a position in which that we feel like we're doing it, we're doing whatever for whatever reason. I'm listen. I'm not stark raving mad. I'm not losing my mind. I might be depressed. I might be, in a position where, I'm screaming out for help or something like that. But I'm just, bro, I'm tired. 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 And I'm tired of mediocrity. I'm tired of mediocrity. I'm tired of regular shit. I'm tired of just being around people that I'm not even saying that being around people. I'm just tired. I'm just tired of the instance that shit is good enough. Because we know in many instances nothing is ever good enough. Listen to this for a second.
For men, shame is not a bunch of competing, conflicting expectations. Shame is one. Do not be perceived as what? Weak. I did not interview men for the first 4 years of my study. And it wasn't until a man looked at me one day after a book signing and said, "I love what you have to say about shame. I'm curious why you didn't mention men." And I said, "I don't study men." And he said, "That's convenient." And I said, "Why?" And he said, "Because you say to reach out, tell our story, be vulnerable. But you see those books you just signed for my wife and my 3 daughters?" I said, "Yeah. They'd rather me die on top of my white horse than watch me fall down." When we reach out and be vulnerable, we get the shit beat out of us. And don't tell me it's from the guys and the coaches and the dads. Because the women in my life are harder on me than anyone else. So I started interviewing men and asking questions. And what I learned is this. You show me a woman who can actually sit with a man in real vulnerability and fear, I'll show you a woman who's done incredible work. For men, shame...
Give up for that one. That was a hell of a, she was talking that shit. Yeah, I guess being perceived as weak and whatnot, it is what it is. It's one of those things where, yeah, your strength is something that can be taken for granted. And most of us don't have a problem with being a strong one and whatnot. If you're an idea person, if you're a mover, if you're a shaker, if you're the one that comes up with ideas, like it's almost to the point where is that like the stability that you stand in gets taken for granted by the people around you because they don't know you to be anything else. Like, so people ask me a lot of times, like Kelly says it a lot, well, why do you get so offended so easily? And like the first thing I want to say is like, do you know who the fuck I am? And yeah, that's another self-serving, arrogant moment, right? But there's so many people who feel, yeah, this is like this is going to be a heavy talking moment right now. There's so many people that feel like that give lackluster effort in certain situations, but may feel as if that they have the same ambitions, but they give lackluster effort, and because of the simple fact that they feel as if that they're on your level or on your playing field or whatnot, they feel as if that they have some sort of stake and claim. And the one thing that I can say is that regardless of who it is, I don't give a fuck if it's your fucking grandmother. You know what I'm saying? It is important that you differentiate that, because if what you've done and what you do on a regular basis make you who you are, and you have built whatever empire, whether how small it is, if you are a platformist at any way, shape, or form, you should never let anybody step on that or even be in a position into which that he could do something to belittle it. When you could say, well, Mr. Noto, they're not really trying to belittle it. They're just, some people want to identify it. Yeah, but here's the problem. The crowd that's singing the artist's song is only identifying by what the artist has produced for them. And that goes for the management. That goes for the people that help record it, and the engineers. That goes for everybody. Some people will never, ever understand what it means to be the idea, the go-getter, the workhorse. So this is important, that sometimes don't take the person that has established something, don't take their kindness for weakness. There's nothing weak about somebody who is looking for particular ways to grow or to be bigger or to ideas in order to elevate and whatnot, because there's a motherfucker out here that's looking for somebody to remodel their apartment building that they built 20 years ago. They're looking for help and whatnot because maybe you have a little bit more of expertise on that, but people have a tendency to put themselves in position in which that they come in and they say, what I'm giving you is important and is almost important, or if not more important than what you've laid down. Nah, 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 nah. We never ever gonna do that. So, and this goes for regular life too. That's why people would they can't even picture you falling. They can't picture you being in a form of weakness. They would much rather see you die on that horse than to fall off of it. Because that's not their thought process of you at all. So what I really, really want y'all to understand is that as a person that's making content, I'm doing this for a reason, right? And I wish I could just say it was as noble as to say is that I want to put out the best content I possibly can. That goes without being said. But the biggest thing is that I need to find a way in order to give this to you the way that it needs to be given to you. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. Then maybe I can live with the fact that I'm wrong. But maybe I'm right. And if nobody can prove to me that I'm not right, you're going to have a hell of a time proving to me that I'm wrong. This ain't going to be too much more longer of an episode or whatnot. I just actually, was, seeing some things or whatnot, but I just wanted y'all to, to hear, a lot of this or whatnot. Like I said, went down a little bit of a rabbit hole or whatnot. This is me giving a little cleanse before the new year comes in and, telling everybody exactly how I feel and exactly what I want things to be like moving in to the next year, because I'm not going to revisit this anytime soon. I'm not going to come back to how I'm feeling, Because to be perfectly honest or whatnot, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. This person that I am, this vulnerable person that's telling you about my feelings and what I want to do and how I want to do it, he dies right here. And there is not a person, whether you're with me or against me, that is going to stop me from doing what the fuck I want to do.
Living sometimes, or if I'm doing a to-do list. I don't know if I'm living sometimes or if I'm doing a to-do list. And then I don't know whose to-do list it is sometimes. I don't know if it's my own things that I want to be doing. Is it things that I feel like people want me to be doing? Like, whose expectations am I living up to? That's what I wonder sometimes. I don't know if I'm...
That's another deep one. Who expectations am I living up to? Living up to mine. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. My selfishness now, there are very, very, very few things and very few people in my life at this point, at 41 years old, that aren't expendable. Because, yeah, there's a condition, anything. There's only one person in this life that I feel like loves you unconditionally, and I feel like that's your mother. So, I mean, even if you do some crazy shit or whatnot, she'll definitely call the cops on your ass. So that might be a condition. But other than that, yeah, the condition is the condition. And so back to what we talking about, who you living for. It's not saying that you can't be a good person. It's not saying that you can't take care of who you were taking care of and what you need to be. But at the end of the day, dog, it's got to do for you. You don't shoot off your priorities and the things that you're supposed to do. Nobody is ever saying that. But the things that you know that you have to take care of have to come to the forefront of your mind. Because if you're not good enough for you, you ain't good enough for nobody else either. And people can tell that. I know.
All the time. Because I feel sad all the time. I'm not the person I was. I lost most of me, all the good stuff, all the happiness, any joy in it. I feel like I'm nothing, People think that I'm sort of okay, like I'm getting on with it, I'm snarky now and again, and that this is a lapse. But it's not. This is me all the time now. I'm not well, but I remember what it was like to be normal, so I do an impression of that. But this is what I really am, and I want to be normal again. But I'm weak,
That was a deep one right there. Remember what it was like to be normal, so I do an impression of that. Some of us been doing impressions for years. I remember when things were simple. I remember when striving for something and wanting to do something and having aspirations for something was just as easy as it being just for you. As just as easy as being the person to say, I've done enough, or I'm doing what I love to do, and let life live itself around me. But one day it became consequential. It was either or. It was this or nothing. Man. You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. It's real.
Fine. You think the smile means that I'm okay? that I have everything figured out. Man, I am empty. But I gotta keep going because that's all I've ever known to do. Just keep going. Oh, you think that I'm fine?
Most of us are not. Yeah, a lot of us that are not. I don't even know what else to say about that. So if you ask me for a second, why do you go so hard for something like this? Why do you go so hard to do this type of shit? Why does it matter that much? People love you. This is a thing. Like you, this is just this. That means if you can even say that to anybody, that means you ain't never had nothing that you love that much. Or you've never had a place that you wanted to be, a thing that you wanted to do, something that made sense to you outside of just the regular rhetoric that the world feeds you on a regular basis. I got a couple more of these, man, and I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I'm going to continue to, just to work. And
Lie that you've ever told. I'm fine. Ah, man, come on, tell me, what's the biggest lie you ever told? I'm fine.
I think I already played that one. Hold up. I'm sorry. Let's do this one.
Who do you call when you are at your lowest? Who is that one person?
Nobody. I'm a man. No one cares.
Not a single soul? Nobody?
No one. Because I'm all alone.
I think I speak for a lot of people when I say that I don't call anyone.
Speaking for the guys when I say this, literally no one.
Do y'all call someone?
Nobody. Just nobody. Got no one to talk to, so nobody. Who cares?
No one. I'm a man.
No one cares.
I wouldn't call anyone. I wouldn't turn to a single person on this earth because they don't care. They will just find a way to use it against me.
Honest.
That's a deep one. Be perfectly honest with y'all, I don't call anybody. Because at the end of the day, I don't think that it's nobody cares. I just don't think anybody would understand. Because especially as you get older, when you're a younger kid, it's different. When you're 41, listen, dog, you done seen it, you done been through it, you got to live with it. Therapy is always a good thing. You know what I'm saying? To be in, that's always a good thing. I've had therapy and stuff like that, but like that's an understanding that we all really, really need to start to come to. So when somebody is resolute about the way that they want to react to life and moving forward in order to keep themselves at steady and malleable, to new things, you got to give them an opportunity to be the good person that they want to be. Because I say it all the time, man, nobody's coming to save you. Stay prayed up. 2 more.
You know, there's that saying that says, God gives his toughest battles to his strongest warriors. I don't want to be a warrior anymore. I don't want to go and fight. I'm tired of fighting.
Some people are tired of fighting, man. Some people are tired of fighting. Like I said, and it's not a situation that pertains to certain things. It's just that when I looked at it and when I saw it, I just said, wow. Because everybody doesn't have an outlet. Everybody doesn't have, a way to feel like, I think the worst thing in the world is for somebody to screaming for help and we don't know how serious it is until it's too late. Strength is a motherfucker, dog. You can be as strong. You can bench press a Buick, and be the weakest person that anybody's ever met. Sometimes, the craziest thing about it is that when you know how they tell you that you know better, you do better. That's only things that pertain to the way that you react to other people. Nobody ever tells you how you do better when it comes to reacting to yourself. I'm here to tell you, you better find a form of fucking selfishness. You better find it. Find it now. Because I'm telling you, that chicken get fried up at your wake. They eat that chicken and go home and plan for the next fucking day. Make yourself a priority, dog. I don't care how selfish it sounds. You don't neglect everything else in your life, but make yourself a fucking priority. Last one.
Tried to tell somebody how you really felt, they left. And they taught you to shut up. But just because you shut the door on a bomb doesn't mean it won't blow up. You know what's killing us? We don't have intimacy. Nobody sees into me. So I'm lonely in a crowd or alone. I laugh and joke and we talk and we say we friends, and I almost talked to you, but I didn't. I wanted to call you back, but I didn't. I wanted to tell you that your laughter gives me life, but I was worried about what you would think of me, and I said nothing at all. I wanted to tell my wife, I'm tired. But for fear of losing my Superman jacket, I just said nothing, turned over and went to sleep. I'm tired of moving everybody, carrying everybody, making it happen for everybody, opening doors for everybody, and then when I need a door open, the last time.
Ain't that some shit? Maybe that's one of the reasons why it's so important to me and whatnot that things work for each other in accordance. That people are able to and can and don't take, for granted or advantage. Some people don't even know that that's what they're doing. It's just important that those that are there's so many people out there. I call it that almost lends it back to what I used to call a black wall all the time and whatnot. Especially as black people, we just have a tendency to. I mean, there's a lot of things that we will discuss with each other and be open and vulnerable about. But I used to say it all the time. Money is not one of them. That's just the thing. I mean, there's just too much pride that goes along with that. But to be perfectly honest with you, there are certain things that you can't even describe or have others understand. And that's a dream that's not theirs. This shit right here, don't nobody give a fuck about this. This right here is my pipe dream, and I have a village of people that can identify. And the craziest thing about even with identification and whatnot, it does not lend itself to the love of it. It doesn't. I can identify and like cars like you do, but some people love them intimately and I'm on a different wavelength. It's not to take anything away from the person that doesn't. Compassion is what compassion does. That's understandable or whatnot. The empathy is what it is. But there are some people who need it and love it to the point where it keeps them moving forward daily. I can't even tell you that podcasting is that thing for me. I could just tell you that being a beacon, this gift of gab that I've been given, this thing that drives me to buy a camera and a microphone and equipment and design a set and to sit in places and think about paying rent for spots and wanting to do this or whatnot. This is something that drives me. I don't know what the outcome is. I really don't. I couldn't tell you. I just know that the people that I have surrounding me, the people that I have supporting me, definitely would want them to be genuine. Definitely would want them to have an understanding. But I also need them to put the effort I bleed this shit, man. Like that's real shit. I bleed this shit. If I could do this for a living every day of my life, I would. Most people wouldn't. So the moments that I want to quit and the moments that I want to give up, just don't. I just don't. And I'm not ridiculing anybody that does, anybody that changes their mind. I just don't. I don't know why. I don't have an answer for you. I couldn't tell you. I don't even know why I did this episode the way that I did it. I don't know why I said the things that I said. I don't know the reason why I played the things that I played and whatnot. I don't know if I'm well. I don't know if I'm the best that I've ever been. I don't know if I'm the worst that I've ever been. But I just know for a fact that I'm not going to give up. To see, that's the things to me that are important. Is the fact that I'm still willing to do. There is no try. There is only do. Get with us on IG at Mr_Know-It-All_pod. The Facebook fan page, the Mr. Know-It-All Podcast fan page. Mr. Know-It-All Podcast on TikTok. And please, as always, send all of your fuckery, duckery, and schmuckery over to the Gmail account at MrKnowItAllPod@gmail.com. This MrKnowItAllPod@gmail.com. This has been episode 195. Yeah, it's going to be back to kind of regularly scheduled programming leading up to episode 200. So don't worry, we're going to bring the laughs and the giggles and the jokes and the, the in-depth conversations back. But I just needed y'all to hear me out on this. If it's all jumbled up and, you can't make heads or tails or anything, just understand this, that Mr. Know-It-All and the Know-It-All Network is thriving in order to bring quality content forward. And I want as many people to see it as they possibly can. And for those that are support, thank you. Continue to. Even when we go over to Patreon, please continue to support over there. 195. Mr. Know-It-All Podcast, Know-It-All Network. Love y'all to death. Peace.
Well, you shouldn't be such a smart mouth, Mr. Know-It-All.